What is going on, everyone? My name is Jason Vincent, and I am a wedding and documentary photographer based out of Northwest Arkansas. And today we're going to be talking about this, the Soke Genie from PMI Gear. So by now, I'm sure you've all seen the whole smoke in a can thing, right? Which, don't get me wrong, they can work great. But my issue is that the cans are pretty big and they always seem to go empty at the exact wrong time. So I end up needing to bring 2 cans just in case. So now that takes up even more room. And even then, they aren't the safest thing to be breathing in. With things like propane and butane inside of them, I know I don't want to breathe that in. So I never want to subject my clients to have to breathe that in either. Thankfully, when using these cans in the past, before I knew what was even inside of them, I never actually had any big issues, but I have a buddy of mine who used this and had a client go into a coughing attack and couldn't continue the shoot because of it. So enter the Soke Genie. This is a battery-powered smoke machine that runs on rechargeable batteries and features a refillable tank. The smoke comes from a glycerin-based fluid and has been tested 56 times by the National Institute of Occupational Safety and Health. These tests include toxicity as well as skin and eye irritation. While you definitely shouldn't inhale the smoke directly from the machine, the smoke produced is much safer than the smoke produced from most traditional machines, and it is even food safe and odorless. Okay. So now that we have touched on the safety aspect, let's talk about the machine itself. The unit features a nice LCD screen that will tell you the battery level as well as the smoke and fan settings. You can then use the selection button paired with the up and down buttons in order to set the machine to your desired levels. You can have a low smoke level and a high fan, or a low fan and a high smoke, plus any setting in between. For both the fan and the smoke, you have 5 levels of adjustment, but if you need to be really particular about the settings you have, you can actually long press the power button and go into Pro mode, which gives you adjustment levels 1 through 10 for both the fan and the smoke. Other buttons on the device are the power button, which uses a 3-button press feature to prevent the device from accidentally turning on in your bag, and you use the same 3-button press action to turn the device off. Then on the back, there is a dedicated button for actually triggering the smoke. The best part about this, though, is that the vial is designed to have an airtight seal, which means no fluid will leak out into your bag. I've actually used a much cheaper pocket-style smoke machine in the past and found out the hard way that not everyone pays this close attention to the real use details, and I ended up with a camera bag full of slimy fluid. And a pretty cool feature of this airtight seal is that the rubber is actually heat sensitive, so when the vial gets hot, the rubber changes color. This way you know when you go to refill the fluid or remove the tank for some reason, you have a visual cue as to whether it's too hot to touch. The vial is also clear, so there is no need to hope and assume you have enough fluid in the tank before you leave for a shoot, and you can visually see how full the vial is and refill as needed. And the fluid actually lasts for a long time. When I fill the vial, I can actually go multiple sessions without needing to refill the tank. One cool thing about the Soke Genie is that it has some built-in safety features, so if there is something wrong with the vial, if it's not connected properly, if your heating element gets too hot, the machine will shut down to make sure that you do not accidentally destroy it. From here, the machine has a nice little cage-type cap that protects the vial from being touched or banged into, and this cage is held on with friction paired with magnets, so you don't have to fuss with taking it on or off. On the back, there is a battery door that features similar type magnets to hold the door closed, and they even put a nice little QR code inside the door in case you need to quickly reference the user manual when out on location. The device also has a USB-C port that can be used for charging the batteries, as well as any possible firmware updates in the future. Okay, that's essentially all about the device, so you think we'd be done, but one of the coolest features about this machine lies with the accessories that you can use to manipulate the smoke. For me, I tend to use the Soke Genie itself, possibly paired with the fan that comes with it. But if you are a product photographer or if you want to try some cool smoke effects on your portrait subjects, you'll definitely be interested in the little tools that you can use with this device. The Soke Genie even has a little remote so you can mount the smoke machine via quarter 20 and trigger things remotely. While these quick examples can give you an idea, I won't pretend to know all the ins and outs of all these tools and their various uses, since I tend to only use the machine and the fan. But if you want more examples, I recommend going to check out the PMI website as well as their dedicated Facebook group. Speaking of the fan, PMI Gear has actually just released a new updated model of the Soke Genie that really helps users when using the fan. This new model comes with an additional head cage that allows you to mount the fan to the machine itself. In the past, you had to hold the machine in one hand and the fan in the other, which made it hard to do anything else while triggering the smoke, as well as making it difficult for any type of remote triggering. But with this new updated head, it's super easy to haze a room even when using the remote triggering options. Now, if you have any questions or thoughts on the Soke Genie, definitely drop them in the comments, and if you're interested in picking one up, you can find links to that in the description below. There, you can also find a link to my Instagram. I'd love for you to follow me along over there, as well as here on Sharpen. Lastly, if you are interested in seeing any type of my premium content, make sure to hit that Patreon link. There, I do deep dives into things like lighting, post-production, and I even have a series called Seeing the Light, where I find interesting light in my house. I figure out what's causing that light, how to recreate that light when it's no longer there, and then how to manipulate that light in order to create something interesting. The entire idea is to equip you with tools so that you can walk into any room with any light and create amazing images. So with that, I'll catch you on the next one.